Okay, good afternoon. And as you heard, my name is Terry Fredrickson. Now, I've been here in Thailand. I've been here a long time, longer than many of you, because I first came in 1968, 2511. So I think I came before many of you were born. And I've lived here altogether about 35 years, I think, altogether. So I can do this in ภาษาไทยก็ได้ but I'm gonna do this mainly in English. It's easier for me, and if we need to do any Thai, okay, that's not a problem. But I'll speak mainly in English, and any questions or anything, ภาษาไทยก็ได้ อีสานก็ได้ No. ตายก็ได้ Okay. เนื้ออุปจาง Okay. Okay. I've been doing this for many, many years. I really started using the news at วิทยาลัยครูศูนย์ดุสิต in about 1980. And I've been using the news to help teach English for ever since then, for a long, long time. And a good example is today why this is useful. You know what happened today? Oh, right. Everybody's talking about this, right? If you turn on the Thai television, you look at the Thai newspapers, everybody's talking about the North. Because what happened in the North? An earthquake, right. Okay, so you can read about this in Thai. Post Today ของเรา has this. Matichon has this. Khao Sot has this. Thai Rat has this. Chong Sam has this. Thai PBS has the same news. So you understand the news already. But what do we say in English? Okay, for example, here, no problem, easy to understand, right? Even severely damaged Buddha image at Wat Udom Wari in Chiang Rai's Pan district. Okay, so that's easy to understand. You already know from the Thai language, no problem. Now, early this morning, I knew this was a big story. So, for the Bangkok Post, I wrote a story about the earthquake for English learners. Okay, and this is what I wrote. Early this morning, about 6:30 this morning, okay? And look, this is easy for you to understand. Okay, big earthquake shakes Thailand's north. Information on the earthquake in the north continues to come in. The main shock occurred at 6:08 p.m. and was recorded at 6.3 on the Richter scale. คล้ายกับภาษาไทยนะ 6.3 Richter, right? But in English we say 6.3 on the Richter scale. Said to be the highest, or one of the highest, ever recorded in Thailand. The epicenter was in Pan district. Epicenter, what do you think that means? Was in Pan district of Chiang Rai. ศูนย์กลาง โอ้ยง่าย Right, epicenter in English. Same idea, easy. Okay. Was in Pan district of Chiang Rai province, and its depth was only 7 kilometers. So what is depth? Right. And then, which is quite shallow for an earthquake. So shallow, มันค่อนข้างจะตื่น for an earthquake, causing worry that there would be substantial damage. As of 8:30 a.m. this morning, the death toll stands at 1. An 83-year-old woman. Death toll must be the number who died, right? That's death toll. I don't know if it's still 1, but this morning it was 1. Killed by a falling wall with 20 injuries. Many northern residents spent a sleepless night, some of them outside their homes, as aftershocks. Same as Thai, right? Aftershock. continued throughout the night. By 4:30 a.m., the count was over 90 aftershocks, with 4 of them above 5.0 on the Richter scale. 8:30 this morning, update. Right? There have now been over 100 aftershocks. Chiang Mai residents are reporting frequent tremors, shaking, through the social media, Facebook, Twitter. Yeah, from Chiang Mai. They say, oh, another aftershock, another one. Okay. Substantial damage was reported to roads and temples, and some hospitals were forced to close. The worst hit area was in Pan and Mae Lao district of Chiang Rai. ไม่ใช่ Chiang Mai นะ I changed that and I don't know what happened. Okay. Near the epicenter, but Chiang Rai, ไม่ใช่ Chiang Mai. The force of the quake was felt in high buildings in Bangkok, including my condo. People on top, they came running down, earthquake, earthquake. I didn't feel it. Okay. Now, update. This is a sad story. Yeah, badly damaged. Chiang Rai's famous Wat Rong Khun, also known as the White Temple, has been severely damaged. National artist Talum Chai Gosit Pipat, who designed and constructed the temple beginning in 1977, said structural damage was severe, and some buildings might have to be demolished, destroyed. Some of the buildings might not stand. You can't see from the outside, but if you go inside, cracks everywhere. The temple has been closed to visitors indefinitely. Indefinitely. ก็ไม่มีกำหนด ไม่รู้จะเปิดเมื่อไหร่ได้ Okay. So, easy. Very easy, right? This is real English, but very easy because you know the story. You already know the story. Okay, so this is one reason why you can use the news to teach English more easily than many other kinds of reading. Because you know the news already from Thai Rat, Matichon, Chong Sam, Chong Jet. You know the news already, so it's much easier to understand. Okay, so that's what I was doing this morning. And I like to have the latest news for people who are learning English. And I explain vocabulary, and I also at siang, fang dai. So you can listen and read at the same time. Okay. Now, before we begin, I want to talk a little about English teaching and English learning. Okay. Students who successfully learn a language usually do so largely on their own, by themselves. If you really learn English, you don't learn from your teacher. You learn from using it. Your teacher can help. Your teacher gives you basics. But if you are successful, you learn by yourself. You have to. You have to use the language. A classroom is not enough. Okay. Classroom lessons help, but the use of the language outside of class usually makes the difference. Talk to anyone who is a good English speaker, Thai speaker, French speaker. They learned outside of class. Class helped give them the basics, help them start. Teachers should understand this and encourage students to learn outside of class and show them how. Help them to learn, because the students must learn by themselves. And the Learning Channel, my website, the Learning Channel of the Bangkok Post, is largely designed for learners working by themselves. So you can use my story on Chiang Mai. You can use it with your class, sure. But many stories, just tell your students to look and let them choose the stories they want, and then they can hear it, they can read it, they learn the vocabulary, it's all there for them, okay? So one thing teachers can do is just show them and show them how to do it. Now I'll give you some ideas. This is designed for people learning on their own. One thing we teach a lot of is vocabulary. For example, this is แม่น้ำ ไม่ใช่แม่น้ำแล้วนะ แม่น้ำยม in, I think it's Pichit. Okay. Okay. And it has caused a big problem for tap water. Now, if students don't know what tap water is, on my website, they can take their mouse or their finger and touch it, and this will come up with the English and the Thai. So it's very easy. So learning vocabulary is very easy on the website. Also, there is a vocabulary list with every story, a vocabulary list with every story. And with a story like the Mae Nam Yom, this is a story about a drought, right? When got khat klan nam. So much of the vocabulary in this story you will see in any story about a drought, right? So if you learn something from this story, you can use it again very quickly because the dry season is just ending. So there have been many, many stories about dry weather and what happens in the drought. Okay, another thing that's very important, and that's listening, maybe the most important. And so I have audio that you can download and use. So you can put it on your phone, and it's MP3. So you can listen when you're walking or whatever you're doing, right? And I found, this is when I was learning Thai, this was the biggest help. I'll show you. This is one of the early, when I was first learning to read, I spent 1 year in Thailand speaking Thai. And I was not satisfied. It was too slow. And I realized I have to learn to read because I don't have enough vocabulary. I need more vocabulary. I have to read. So I started reading, and you know, some things you have to learn, like ka, or like ko, a. Okay, อักษรกลาง ไม่มีไม้โท ไม่มีไม้เอก อะไรงั้นก็ต้อง ka, right? But then, if you're not, Sala e, ani arai wa. You know, the problem, you see, the Thai letters, they're all together. Where are the words? Where does one word begin and where does one word end? Is it Sala e, pa, and then that arai wa? Okay, and then what's this no, go? Where's the vowels? You know, okay, so you have to learn step by step, but it's too slow. And when you look, when you're first learning Thai, what you see are ตัวอักษร แต่ไม่เห็นคำ มีเห็นแต่ตัวอักษร you know, so it's a มันยุ่ง so what do I do? Well, I was teaching, so I had students, so I said you อัดเสียง I had my big tape recorder, and I had students
กาเป็นนกชนิดหนึ่งมีสีดำเราเรียกมันว่ากาเพราะมันร้องกากากา
goingชั่ว see, I don't have to do the work. I can listen, look, and then I can see where the words are. And I would listen to this 10 times, 15 times. กาเป็นนกชนิดหนึ่งเราคนไทยเรียกมันว่ากา okay, yeah, I can still do this from way back, okay? So I worked sometimes 5 hours, 6 hours. ผมสบายไม่ต้องคุมข้อสอบฝรั่งเขาไม่ไว้ใจอะไรก็ไม่รู้แต่ผมมีเวลาว่าง so I had about 5 hours or 6 hours for 1 week, and I learned to read. I really did. It took me about 1 week using voice, using text, and so on. And amazing, I could see words when I finished. Okay, and I was there, well, it was interesting. I was speaking a lot of Thai, so I learned Thai quite quickly because everybody was helping me. But when I went outside the classroom, the language was not different. I didn't notice at first. But after about a year, I noticed, and it was not the same. It was
กาเป็นนกชนิดหนึ่งมีสีดำเราเรียกมันว่ากาเพราะมันร้องกากา
Anybody
กา
here? Anywhere here where can you guess where I was teaching? Where? In the south, right. This is actually her language. This is Jangwa Trang. I'm Muang Khon. It's very similar, but not exactly the same. But it's close enough. Now, I want to show you that you can do much more with audio. This is just the beginning. Let me just go out of this for a second. Take this. Now,
กา
okay, but let's stop that. There's something else we can do. In the old days, this was before you were born. This was 1969, 1970, 2512, when I was doing this, right? So we had a big tape recorder, and we had 3 speeds. We had 33, 45, 78. So I used to record at 45, and I'd play at 33. So it was slow. And you can do the same thing here. You can go playback, speed, and then slower. Now let's slow it back. How about 3 times? And then let's listen. Okay, now.
เป็นนกชนิดหนึ่งมีสีดำเราเรียกมันว่ากาเพราะมันร้องกากากา
Let's just listen to that one time. One more time, the whole thing.
กาเป็นนกชนิดหนึ่งมีสีดำเราเรียกมันว่ากาเพราะมันร้องกากา
Okay.
กา
So I could notice all kinds of things here. First of all, we said มันมีสีดำ. Now if this is C, what is this in Southern Thai? ออกเสียงว่าไง? That's Central Thai. I want ภาษาอันนี้ถ้าภาษาภาคใต้นะเป็น C อันนี้เป็นค่าและอันนี้เป็นแวนอันนี้เป็นม่อนแป๊บเดียวก็แรงเป็น Okay. How about this? Now it said wrong. Ka. Wrong. Lan. Nen. Nam. See? Just from listening and then slowing it down, and then if you know the tone rules, you know mai to, mai ek อะไรงั้นน่ะ you can immediately say ถ้าภาษากลางว่าอย่างนี้ภาษาภาคใต้ก็ว่าอย่างนี้ See? So that's what I did. แต่อย่าไปฝึกมากเกินไปนะพงเข้ากรุงเทพมันลำบากจริงมันมีแต่คนหัวเราะเขาถามว่ามาแต่ไหนชาวกรุงเทพมันไม่ใช่นะมาจากไหนอ่ะมาแต่ไหนเลยมันคือต้องเอาไหมต้องเรียนภาษากลางแล้วลำบากจริงตอนแรก Okay. Okay, but you see language is fun to learn, and I think audio is very important, and not just listening to it once, listening to it twice, listening many times, and then doing things. For example, that program, it's VCL, or I'll show you later. That's a good program to use because you can slow things down, and I'm sure other programs can do the same thing. Now, let's get away from Thai and go back to English. So, on the website, I make sure everything has sound. All the stories have sound.
My home state of Minnesota in the United States is getting a lot of attention today, and for good reason. It is cold, just as cold as the planet Mars in some places, they say.
Okay, actually, it's clearer than that. The sound here is a little bit low. We can do the same thing with that program.
My home state of Minnesota.
Now this is slow. This is slowed down again.
In the United States is getting a lot of attention today, and for good reason. It is cold, just as cold as the planet Mars in some places, they say.
Now, we were listening to สีดำ and มันร้อง and you can do the same thing here for some of the grammar. For example, just as cold as. But that's not the way we say it, do we? We say it much faster than that. Just as cold as. Let's see if I can find it here.
My good reason. It is cold. Just as cold as the planet Mars. Just as cold as...
Okay, if you can find it and do it again and again.
Just as cold as the planet Mars.
So you say, just as cold as the planet Mars. I don't say just as cold. It's too slow. We don't say that. And if you hear someone like me speaking English, you have to catch quick English. So I record in normal English. It's normal. But if you need to, you can go back, download it, and you can play with it this way. You can do that. And that's something that might be helpful to many of your students. And then watch for things. Watch for English you want to remember. And then listen again and again and again and again. How do you say that? And then listen at fast speed. Lots of things you can do nowadays. So much easier to learn a language today than it was years ago. Okay. All right, now I'm good. This was my original beginning. What I am trying to do is to do quality web learning. This is Quality Learning Foundation, and we're trying to do quality web learning. Now, I've made this little arrow here. I made two of them because a quality web learning program will go two ways. I give you things, goes this way, but I also receive things from readers, and that's why I'd love to talk to you today about what we can do together. Not just me giving you material, but we can develop material together, and it will go all around the world. People all around the world will see it. And I'll show you examples today. Okay, now, on the website, we have daily lessons, and that's I give you. This is something I produce every day, usually 7 days a week, 6 or 7 days a week. Even yesterday, I was doing this. Content from readers. Now, that comes from you. But I help, and I'll show you examples today of how I can help. So don't worry about grammar mistakes. There won't be any. I will clean up the language, and I will help. Okay. Now, this is important, learning together. I used to go to many schools in Thailand. I was reporting on education for the Bangkok Post, and I went everywhere, to Thai schools, to international schools, and I went anywhere. And I wonder if things have improved. At the international school, we were looking at their curriculum. And teachers ต้องสอนอันนี้วันนี้จะสอนยังไง And they could go, this is 10 years ago, they could go onto the internet and they could find help from around the world teaching the same curriculum. And they could email back and forth, they could get materials back and forth. Can you do that here in the Thai system? If you are in Lampang, or are you in Ang Thong, or wherever you are, and you have to teach, for example, the past, the English past, can you go onto the web? I don't mean Google, but is there a network for Thai teachers? Yes or no? Oh, there should be. There should be. This is one thing I would love to help, because there are certain things I enjoy teaching, and I teach often, and I have collected things I'll show you today. And they're available on my website, but we should be doing this together. And I can show you some of the things we can teach, but we can use your students to teach them with video. I love to see your students in a rice field, for example, or at a Thai temple or whatever. There's many things we can teach the world about English. Or, for example, we go on the BTS. And we can start at one end and start and stop, take video, and there's much we can do with that for learning of English. So I'll show you some examples in a minute. So this is very important, this idea of learning together. There's social media, Facebook. Please, if you have any questions, just go to Facebook. I've got 109,000 followers now on Bangkok Post Learning, so people are using it. And then there's books as well, and we'll talk a little about books as well. Okay, let's start. Getting started. First thing, this is the Bangkok Post website. I could use the real site, but let's go quickly. Look up here and you will see learning. Click on learning, and this is today. Okay, and this is what it looks like. Okay, and you can find our lessons here. You can also find content from readers, and I'll talk about this. This is a young Thai boy from Samut Prakan who is in America, and he was writing about going to school in America. That's an example, which you can do too. We'll talk about that. So we have content from readers, learning together. Let me show you. Here's an example. When I find material for teaching, I don't use learning sites very much. Manน่าเบื่อ. You know, because people like to teach the old-fashioned way. Very often, I'm playing on the computer, and I see something, say, on YouTube. Suppose I see this. See, we got what do we got here? We got a sword, and we've got a tomato, right? I say, hey, I can use this with my class. Okay? I want you people over here, okay, focus on the sword. Watch the sword. You people over here, watch the tomato. You focus on the tomato. You focus on the sword. So, if we make a sentence, you begin with the sword. If we have a sentence, you begin with the tomato. Okay, now watch. What happened? The sword. The sword what? You mean sliced, you mean? Oh, slit. Oh, I wouldn't. I'd maybe use the word slice or an easy word. Cut. Okay. The sword cut the tomato, and we might say in half, right? The sword cut the tomato in half. Over here, you begin. The tomato was cut by the sword. Active and passive. So you don't have to stand and then อธิบายเป็นภาษาไทยว่านี่โครงสร้างก็เป็นอย่างนี้มันความหมายเป็นอย่างนี้ก็ให้ดูอันนี้ This is very clear. And just have them focus on different parts. And you can even start at the beginning. What is going to happen? The sword is going to cut. And then what happened? Or what and then the tomato is going to be cut. You can be complicated or easy, whatever. But this is fun. Now today I'm going to talk about some teaching points, but I don't have time for passive voice. But I found this clip. ผมยังไม่ได้สอนแต่มันน่าสอนจริงๆผมอยากสอนนำดู Okay, watch this. You got a baby and her parents. Oh wait, okay, I'm sorry I didn't bring this up, but anyway, that's what I was talking about. Okay, watch. Cute.
Sophia, abok. Sophia, abocão. Sophia, aqui ó.
Mostra a embalagem do KitKat agora.
Sophia. Sophia Abok. Ah.
Okay, so what do? We've got the baby, we got the parents. With the baby, which verb are we going to use? Tricked. With the baby, was tricked, active and passive. แต่มันน่าสอนนะผมอยากสอนจริงๆมันยังไม่มีโอกาส So this is something, I mean, when you teach something like that, why not use it? Now, I have found these things, and you find things like this too. We need a place where we can put them so everyone can use them, right? And I mean, I can help. On my website, we already have a space, but กระทรวงน่าจะทำ it's น่าทำจริงๆ Okay. Another thing we do, of course, is social media. And here is an example of somebody asked me a question. She wanted to know about Yurt Rot. She said, is there an English word for Yurt Rot? Uh-huh. And of course there is, but it depends. I said, good question. It depends on the situation. For example, you stole the car, the police might seize it from you. Seize. Or confiscate it. Same thing, okay? On the other hand, if you borrowed money to buy the car and didn't pay back the loan, the bank or the lending company might repossess it. So I gave her 3 different examples. And she said, "Ooh, thanks." You can do the same thing. I enjoy this when people ask me questions in English on Facebook. ไม่ยากนะผมยินดีไม่มีปัญหาไทยก็ได้ like that. Okay. No, my life is in front of the computer, right? Okay, and then there are also books which I'll talk about a little bit later. Okay. Now, let's go back and look more closely. All right, these are the lessons that I produce every day. A story currently in the news, for example, Chiang Mai earthquake. We talked about that earlier. Or it might be something important or interesting or unusual, strange. And I explain the vocabulary. You've seen that. I include the audio. And again, this is designed for learning English without a teacher. Now, using current news means the learner is likely to have background from the Thai language. We looked at that already. If it's important, interesting, or unusual, it gives the reader motivation to read it. And vocabulary is easy to remember and understand. And the audio makes it even easier. And it makes it easier to understand the story as well. So this is how I design things. This is the front page. Click in. And here's an example story. I chose this story because it's fun. This man goes around the world and he finds people and he says, "Will you jump for me? Jump." And then he takes a picture of them jumping. And he's gone all around the world. For example, China, here. Something you can do with your own class. Try jumping pictures. But he explains that he likes people. But in some countries he goes to, if you walk up to someone and start talking, they think you're crazy or they don't trust you or something. But if he has a camera and he says, "Will you jump for me?" Sometimes they laugh, and all of a sudden they become friends very quickly. So he's done this all over the world, including Thailand. So it's an interesting kind of story. We have stories at 3 levels. The real thing, no changes. This is a Bangkok Post story, and we don't change it. Kind of interesting here from Rayong, where the seller sold unripe durian. แล้วก็จังหวัดกลัวว่าจะเสียชื่อ and he was 15 days in jail for selling unripe durian. Okay, so this is a real thing. Also, there's some stories I rewrite or shorten to make it easier. So this is called easy English news. So we have real news, easy English news, and really easy English. Usually I take a picture and then I write the story myself. And this is designed for younger students and something you can use on a tablet. I think this would be good for the government tablet programs. For example, hi, I'm a dragonfly. I can see you. I can see you very clearly. My eyes have about 30,000 little lenses, so I can see what is beside me. You know? Without turning, or can you do that without turning your head? Can you see there? There? No, the dragonfly can. Do you want to see me fly? Can you see that I have two pairs of wings? I can fly forward and backward. I can change directions very quickly. One thing I can't do very well is walk. I have 6 legs, but they're only good for standing and holding on to plants. I'm hungry. If you see a mosquito, let me know. I like to eat mosquitoes. Okay, so this is an example of really easy English. Okay. Now, I don't do enough of this. I do because most of my readers read real English. But if we have schools involved, I can do many more of these because we have wonderful pictures. Our photographers are very good. So I begin with a picture and then I write the story. So if we get more readers, I'll do more of this. So we can talk about that later if you want. Okay, content from readers. I think in the handout you've got an example from this guy. It started with an email. Yeah, I think you've got this, but I'll show you what he said on the... Okay, I got this email.
ชุดแรกค่ะในแฟ้มนะคะ
I got this email from this guy, and this is what he wrote. My name is Pongpanit Ruchiratanalai. My nickname is Mean. I'm from Samut Parkan. That's ni ขียนเองอ่ะผมไม่ได้ Okay, I am 18 years old. Okay, ผมยังไม่ได้แก้ I'm currently studying at Noman Global Language Center in Provo, Utah. I've been studying here for the past 8 months. I wanted someplace that is safe, inexpensive, and provides a good education. So I look on the internet and I found Noman Global. I want to learn English because I want to know English and improve it to use in my life for study and communication with English speakers, and be ready for the ASEAN community. It will come soon because they will use English and Chinese to be the international languages. I plan to use my English skills to enter an American college for a business degree, or for a degree in business, and then I'd like to work in the United States of America. I would like to tell more about my story. Okay. Okay, it's nice. He sent me an essay, but not very interesting, right? Tamada, right? Not very interesting. And if it's not interesting with the internet, people won't read it. So I know right away, very few people will read this. So I sent an email back. Thanks much for sending in your story. If you want me to publish it in the Learning Together section, I think you should add some interesting material about your life in the U.S. What is it like? Was it hard to adjust to school life in the U.S.? Anything else to add interest? Photos are also important. With so many choices available on the internet, readers are hard to please. So you have to catch their attention. I'm sure you can do it, so I'm asking for more. Email comes back. He never talks personally. He never says anything to me, he just writes. I have a lot of international friends here at Noble Gloman. There is Tai, who comes from Vietnam. Luis is from Mexico. Muhammad is from Saudi Arabia. We study together, play soccer, and help each other to learn English. Reading and writing English is hard for me, but speaking English is easy for me. The first time when I came here, I don't know what the real American food is, because it's a mixture of many different countries. I think Thai pizza is better than American pizza because the toppings are fresher and sweeter. I like Provo, Utah because it's safe to live, quiet, and nature is very close and easy to get to in the mountains. I've also been to New York for a vacation for 2 weeks. I think New York is a good place to visit, travel, shop, and eat, but not a good place to live. I will return to Thailand at the end of April for a 3-month vacation. I look forward to seeing my family again. Then I will come back to America to go to Brigham Young University in Utah. Okay, better. A little bit better. Okay, so I said, good, we're getting there. Okay, I hope to have some time this weekend to start putting it in final shape for publishing. In the meantime, add 1 or 2 sentences explaining why New York is not a good place to live. You know, I thought he should explain that. It's a good place to visit, but not a good place to live. Okay. I do not, again, he doesn't talk to me, he just writes. I do not like New York City because in Thailand you do not have to tip. But in New York they want a big tip for everything. For instance, I went to the barber in New York and I had to tip him $5. Here in Provo, I never have to tip like that. Also, New York was very dangerous and dirty. I did not feel safe there. I was in the Bronx and I saw a thief steal a lady's purse, okay? Now we've got enough, and I went and I put it into a story, and I think we've got the story there. Okay, but you see, if you have students that want to write a story, I will help. Sometimes it takes 3 or 4 emails, but I will help. And then hopefully we can get a story that you can publish in the Bangkok Post, on the Bangkok Post Learning Channel, okay? So remember that, I help. Today, what I wish I had some writers in Chiang Rai, you know, to explain about last night, 100 aftershocks. What was it like? You know, what happened? What was your life like? What happened yesterday? I wish I had some students in Chiang Rai that would send me stories and photos. And then we could publish it tomorrow if we did it quickly, you know. Lots of people would read that. So think about that. You could have your own reporters at your own school. And easy, I'm easy to talk to, you see, the email, no problem. Might do it wrong. Okay. Okay, and this is just his last email, and then we got the story. Okay. Now, sometimes the ideas come from Facebook. Here's this young guy, Sang Tit Kamlang Chai, and he wanted people to look at his video that he had made. He does time-lapse video, okay? And here's an example. Animan mai chai len. This is brilliant. This is a young amateur. Mai chai achieve na.
อันนี้ก็อยู่ในแฟ้มค่ะอันที่ 2
Yeah,
เซตที่
okay.
2
But take a look. Take a look what he produced. Need do a need. nice? So, great. I said, sure, I'll write it on Facebook, but let's do a story, you know? And the obvious question is, how did you do that? How did you learn to do it? What equipment did you use? How did you do that? And he is Thai, but he is educated in Singapore, so his English is quite good. So he wrote a wonderful story, and I put it on the web, as usual, helping this young man. Now I find, he wrote, I'm going to Chiang Mai. I'm doing a time lapse on Chiang Mai. And today, on the website, we've got Chiang Mai as well. I'll just show you. This one is shorter. But he uses two techniques. One is called time lapse, where you take a camera and you keep taking pictures every few seconds or minutes for an hour, 2 hours in the same spot, okay? The other is hyperlapse, which is time lapse, but you also move the camera. So you could see some of those he was moving. They took hours to do because he would take a picture, move the camera, move the camera, move the camera, and you have to be very careful about being smooth. So you have to have special equipment to do this. And in today's story, you should read it. It's very good. He explains how to do it, but also it's not just camera. There's lots of things you have to be a good talker to ask for permission. For example, he stayed on Doi Intanon all night. Don't call anuyat. Tap to may die, you know, but he's a good talker. He also talked about multivitamins because you're on the road 7 to 10 hours, no food. All this stuff. Climbing a mountain is difficult. There's lots that goes into this. It's not just camera and photography, and he explains that today. I'll just show you. This is not high resolution. You should see this on YouTube. The highest resolution. Okay, this is time lapse. See the camera in the same place? Now he's moving the camera. Hyperlapse, moving the camera. like to help this guy. I like to work with him. He answers my emails immediately and so on. But do you have anything interesting at your school like that? And you can tell how to do it. It might be dance. Right. It might be dress or whatever. There are lots of interesting things that we could make a story, and people around the world will see it. See? And I'll help, but I need your help to get this, right? It's hard for me sitting in Bangkok to do this. That's why I'm happy to talk to you today. I hope we have more people who will be interested in this. Let's take a look at the real website for a minute. And we'll show you some more examples. Okay, everything for the readers is in Learning Together. Okay, that's Chiang Mai. Here's Samut Prakan. I had during Songkran, we had Norwegian students were here, and they were writing about Thailand. But I want to show things that you can do. Okay, here's a little 10-year-old international school, but he's born in Thailand, and Polly the parrot. He wrote his little original story about Polly the parrot. Really cute, very short. It was a poem, actually, just like this. So that's another example. Oh, this is great. This is from Ta, and actually I have this. I'll show you how this came about. And this is something I love to do more of. Yeah, let's take a look. Okay, this was in the news, in the Thai news media, and I saw this on maybe Sanuk.com, I'm not sure, but it was also on, I think, Matichom website and so on. Look what happened. This is CCTV in the school. Okay, so it all starts here, and a storm is coming. And all of a sudden, okay, that's just the start. And then, wow, now they have cameras all over the school. So they showed it in different rooms. Students don't quite know what to do. Oh, now it's fun. Initially it's fun. See, the air is coming. And then all of a sudden, uh-oh, it's not so fun anymore. Luckily, no one in that room. Okay, you got the idea, right? So I saw this, and I saw the name of the school. Say, hey, that would be a good story. So I went to Facebook, the school Facebook page, and on the Facebook page, they said, I saw that your school was hit by a storm. Does anyone want to write a story about it? And I will, send it around the world on the Bangkok Post website. And a teacher, I'm surprised. Most time, no one answers. But a teacher answered. And she actually wrote a story right away, within one day. And again, I worked with her several times, and we came up with this story. And lots of pictures. They had lots of pictures from all over the campus. And this is what we got, So someday I hope we have reporters, student reporters or teacher reporters around the country, and we can do things like this. You know, I enjoy this. This is fun for me, and it's interesting for readers. Lots of people have read this. Look, 17,000. 17,000, that's 2 days ago. So, and that's around the world. That's not just Thailand. Okay, so, not Tamna. Okay, I was going to show you some more examples. I want to show you one more. I'll try to find it quickly. Yeah. Recognize that guy? You know that guy? Who is he? That's me. That's me, and that's my first student in Thailand, Jam Nong. That's at สมัยนั้นเป็นฝึกหัดครูนครศรีธรรมราชใช่อันนี้ผม Okay, he was at that time ฝึกหัดครูมีแค่2 ปี. And then it changed to become a Wityalai Kru, 4 years. And now, of course, this is Ratchapat Nakhon Si Thammarat. Okay. Now, he went on to be a teacher, and he taught his whole career, and he's now retired.
But me.
See, he's changed, but I haven't, right? Okay. Now, when he retired, his father had some land, and he gave him some land, and he set up a palm oil plantation. And he explained, he's a teacher, you know, so he explains everything about, he was at my home too in the U.S. way back, okay? So it's a very nice story about the palm oil business. Now, the ASEAN community is beginning, and I think stories like this would be great. You know, we could have a map, a Google map, and we could have little points around Thailand. This is Chumphon, but we could have Lampang, we could have Suratthani or whatever, and stories about life there. And then we could join with newspapers around ASEAN. We could exchange. So if you have stories about life in your own community, interesting things. I think an interesting story would be, for example, what are you doing to keep your campus dry from the floods? Is there have you changed since the big floods? Or, you know, anything like that. When the election comes up, don't talk about Sua Dang, but how are people campaigning? You know, I mean, what do they do? Do they use trucks? What do they do? Or, you know, you can show the local campaign before the election. We could have around, what's your community doing? What's your community? We don't need politics. We're interested in, you know, the social part of it. So these are all things that we can do. And here's an example. I think that this is a good one. Okay, so that's content from readers. Now let's get to the last. Okay, this is learning together, what I was talking about. If we can talk, for example, if we're teaching, you know, we're answering these questions. What does this mean? How do you say this in English? How do I teach this? This is something we can all do together. You have a question, I have an idea, we can share, and we can make something work. For example, let's go back to when I first went to Nakhon Si Thammarat, Nakhon Son Pani. This is what we did in the old days. We used to repeat after me. Remember this? I worked in Dubai for 10 years. Why did I choose Dubai? Don't look at Dubai. Try you, Tina. Oh, Thai. Okay. I worked in Dubai for 10 years, and then we have not. So the students would say, I didn't work in Dubai for 10 years. Have. I haven't worked in Dubai for 10 years. Thailand. I haven't worked in Thailand for 10 years. Okay? They taught us to teach that way when I came, okay? And I am a Jiao Kong Pasa, Pasa Angkrit. No problem. Ngai ma. But I never thought, wait a minute. That's not the same meaning. I worked, I didn't work, I haven't worked. มันไม่เหมือน What's the difference? You know, in those days, we were talking structure, you know. เติม ed ในกรณีนี้อะไรอย่างนั้นน่ะ you know. But we never thought about the meaning, and I got interested. Now, wait a minute. I didn't work in Dubai for 10 years. That means sometime in the past, there was 10 years. Before it, I worked in Dubai. After it, I worked in Dubai. But for 10 years, I didn't. See, this is all past. Now, I haven't worked in Dubai for 10 years. That means from 10 years ago until now, no work in Dubai. It's 10 years ago until now. Didn't work, it's sometime in the past, you see? It's not the same. So I kept thinking about meaning, and then when I say this, what's in my mind? What pictures are in my mind? And I started doing this with students, and here's one thing I remember very much. Again, this was Nakhon Si Thammarat, and I was teaching and the. And the. ซึ่งง่ายที่สุดในโลกไม่มีปัญหา And the kids couldn't do it. I mean, ซับซ้อนมาก So I said, wait a minute, this is easy. So I put some pictures on the board. And this is the way I draw. Pictures like this. So I put a dog, cat, so on, pictures like this. Now I said, okay, draw the dog. And the bad artists, very quick, they copied my picture. But the good artists, they don't want to do that. So they're sitting there 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Yeah, say. I said, what's going on? And I look. See? ต้องสวย you know, ต้องดี แต่ผิด ไม่ถูก I said, draw the dog. So in my mind, this is the picture. Your mind, you have the same picture because it's the. See? You have to, if it's the, we both have to have the same picture in mind. But these guys had a dog in mind, not the dog. This is a dog, but it's not the dog. This is the dog. So I quickly developed an exercise I still use. Okay? For example, draw the dog. Okay? And again, good artists will not draw the dog. They'll draw a beautiful dog, but not this one. But ค่อยๆเข้าใจ And then draw the ship. Okay, this is a little advanced. Can you do it? เจ้าของภาษาเขาจะว่าไงซับซ้อน Which ship? ไม่ได้ See? If I said ships, okay, but there's two, so which one? อันนี้ไม่ได้ Draw the house, no problem. This one has to be this house. Draw a drum. It can be this or any drum. A drum. Draw the toaster. นี่ตรงนี้นะ Draw a glove. It can be this or any glove, but only one, not two. Draw the donut. This one. Draw the sharks. Again, problem. There's only one. May die. See? So, after this, the students, you know, ค่อยๆเข้าใจนะแล้วมันไม่ผิดเลยในที่สุด I'm trying to help you get the same picture in your mind that I have in my mind. We're teaching meaning. Okay, now, wouldn't it be nice if you're teaching and that, you can go on the internet, แล้วก็ download แล้วก็สอนน่าเป็นอย่างนั้นนะ See, that's what I want to do. If we can develop things like this for your curriculum, and then you can go on to the network and get it and teach. มันน่าสอน Okay, in Thailand, I want to make sure the sound is high enough. In Thailand, you know, English is very often there's one tense. เด็กนักศึกษาใครก็ได้เขาจะใช้ tense เดียว present tense. I go today, I go yesterday, I go whenever, right? Only one. Okay. So one of the first things I try to do is to help students understand the past. So we've got at least present and past. Okay. Now, ด็กๆ, no problem with kids. They know this at the age of 2. Take a look. Have you seen this? Anybody seen this? You've seen it, right? This is one of the most famous YouTube clips in the world. About 500 million views or more for this one clip. And you'll see why. Watch.
Charlie bit me.
Did you hear what he said? Charlie bit me. Bit is what tense? Past tense. What's the present? Bite. So this is an irregular verb. Bite, bit. Soเขารู้นะไม่ต้องสอนนะ So Charlie bit me.
Ouch! Ouch! Ouch, Charlie! Ouch! Charlie, that really hurt. No, Charlie bit me. And that really hurt, Charlie, and it's still hurting.
Okay, you see what he said? Charlie bit me. That really hurt. And it's still hurting now. Okay. But it's past. You see, even though it's 1 second ago or 5 seconds ago, it's still past. Present is not the same as past. And that is in my head. You know, ผมผิดไม่ได้มันเป็นไปไม่ได้ที่ผมจะใช้กริยาผิดอย่างนี้นะ I can't say bite for bit. Impossible. Because present and past is different for me. Okay. So, this is fun. But this is so popular that watch what people have done with this. And this would be great for your class. I'll show you another example. The same thing.
Charlie bit me.
Okay, got the idea? This is called auto-tune. You can take speech and you can make it into music. But you see, in the old days, remember, I didn't work in Dubai for 10 years. I haven't, repeat after repeat. You can do this, almost the same thing here, but your students stand up in a line and they dance, and then they, you know, it's bit and hurt, and you're practicing your verb forms right here. Same thing. Another way to do it is this.
Charlie bit me. Ouch! Ouch! Ouch, Charlie! Ouch! Charlie!
So a little acting in your class as well. You can do the same thing. Okay, this has taken me a long, long time to find these examples. Okay, and I've got them on the web. I'll show you where you can find them, and you can use them. But you, I'm sure, can find your own examples. And what we need are people to come together somehow with a network so we can share the ideas. There's so many of these are out here. Okay, now, with the past tense, we'll just go a little bit farther. Verb forms, we've got regular and irregular verbs, right? We add ed, and then we have other things like bite, bit, and so on. Okay? You can find clips where there's a number of different actions. This is cute. This is really fun. Maybe what I'll do, since the sound is not so good, I'll use the next one. Okay, so you can see what's being said.
Get up. Good bird. Come here, buddy. AJ, roll over. Roll over. AJ, roll over. Good. Do a flip. Do a flip. Good bird. Turn around. Good bird. Can you shake hands? Shake hands. Good bird. Put the ball in. Good job, AJ. Pick up the ball. Thank you. Put the ball in. Put the ball in. Put the ball in. Good shot. Put it in the basket. Put it in the basket. Put it in the basket. Put the ball in the basket.
Okay. And then, now it's finished, right? It's passed. So, notice we've got our, and also its pronunciation here. In English, I would say rolled over. It's hard to say, rolled over. So we don't say it that way. Rolled over. D goes to the next syllable, see? Rolled over. It did a flip. Okay, again, it turned around. Turned around. It's hard to say, turned around. We don't say that. It turned around. Shook hands, putted the ball in the hole. It picked the ball up. Okay, and so on. Okay, so again, this is a fun way to play with verbs. And this is what I want. Let's make our own. Bangkok Post.
I tried to tear it. Hi, teddy bear, you so cute. I talked to it.
I talked to it. I rocked it.
I pretended to wash it.
I pretended to wash it.
I tickled it.
I tickled it.
I grabbed it.
I hid it.
I hate it.
I shook it.
I shook it. I fed it.
I fed it.
I bit it.
I bit it. Oh.
I burped it.
I burped it. To get the gas out, I burped it. Oh, I kicked
I
it.
kicked it. I played it.
I played it.
Huh? Played with
Played
it.
with it.
With it.
Played
I
with
played with it.
Okay. I'd like to get many examples of this from students. But be careful. You notice the audio, the sound is not good. You have to be careful. You need someone who knows video and audio. ไม่งั้นก็มันเสียงมันไม่ดีอย่างเงี้ย See, I used a camera without a microphone. ไม่ดีอ่ะ You need something better than that. But I'm looking for this sort of thing. Okay. Now, one thing we can get serious in doing this. We can actually teach something modern and useful and a little complicated but fun. You learn tenses in school, right? Verb tenses, present, past, present perfect. ยังมีสอนอยู่ใช่ไหมยังไม่เลิก Have any of you seen this, tense and aspect? Have any of you studied this? ยังเหรอ ยังไม่มีอ่ะ tense and aspect? Oh, did you know there are 2 tenses in English? Only 2. They're not 15, they're only 2. This is the, really, if you go to school now and study linguistics, you will find 2 tenses, not 10, not 15. There's only 2, present and past. Because we're looking at the verb, like the verb jump. You can add S, ED for past. But if everything else you're adding, verb to be, ing. When you only talk about the verb itself, it's only the present and past. Now, meaning is added through progressive, continuous, and perfect aspect. Now, I'm going to do this very quickly, but it's very interesting and fun because the exercises I have are very fun. Okay? This is what I'm going to do. What are you saying when you use be plus ing verb form? What are you saying? What meaning are you adding? Okay? You're not adding time. We've only got present and past. Okay? But what meaning are you adding if you use a be plus ing? Well, another time lapse. What's he doing? He's walking. He walks for a long time. Okay. Now, when you use this, what you are telling me is the action takes time. See, just like this. This takes time. See, he's still walking. Walking.มันใช้เวลา Okay, it's not finished. Okay, you're telling me it's not finished. And you're telling me it's temporary. You know, it's a crowd. It's going to stop. And someday it will stop. So, the event takes time. It's not finished. And it's temporary. So, any progressive, if you use the present progressive, the past progressive, you're telling me the same thing. These are the things you're telling me. Okay? Let's look at another example. The Voice, Italy. This is The Voice. Okay, it takes time. She's not finished. All these things, again, it takes time. It's not finished yet, but it's temporary. Soon we'll be finished. Is she singing? No. She sang. Past. It's finished. So that's with the progressive, this is what you're adding, no matter which one. It's so much easier to understand. But do you really understand? Wait a minute. Now take a look. Again, the action event takes time. It's unfinished. It's temporary. Can we use it here?
Ursäkta, måste bara säga det är så jävla snygg. Jag får en puss.
Can we say slapping? When we say she's slapping him? Dime, right? Why not? It's too fast. How can you do that? It's too fast. It is finished, right. So the action does not take time. So an action like slap or hit, no ing. Even if you slow it down, it's still too fast.
Ursäkta. Måste bara säga det är så jävla snygg. Jag får en puss.
See? See, even slow motion, it's still too fast. She slapped him. She slapped him. She slapped him. Now, can we use ing with slap? Watch. No. What are they doing? They're slapping. See? Now it takes time. See? What about the last one? Punch. Can we use ing? No, too fast. See? Okay, so yes, we can use ing with slap, but it has to be repeated action like that. See? Okay, so now we're talking about meaning. I don't know how much. Let's skip this. I was going to show. I'll just show not the. Okay, I'll show. Okay. Now I was going into the past. We did present progressive, but doing past progressive. When we talk about the past and we use the past, it's like it's a photograph. Like one day, Mr. Bean went to the local swimming pool. Okay. He was not a very good swimmer, so he was a little anxious when he saw that people were playing water polo. They're playing water polo here in the adult pool. The children's section looked a lot more fun. Okay, these are like photographs. So he ran over there to have some fun. Okay, this is like Pop Ning. But just as he was starting to go down the elephant slide, however, I'm using progressive to give it time. Okay? Now it's not a Pop Ning, but been video. Watch. Okay, so I use the ing, so now it takes time, okay? And it's temporary, and it's unfinished at this time, okay? But it's the same idea. And advertisers use this a lot. One day, this young man was jogging. Okay, we're making it given time. And he saw something. He saw a car, a beautiful car. Okay? While he was looking at the car, again, we're giving it a time, what happened? Okay, again, past progressive. While he was looking at the car, while he was jogging. It's like a video. It's not, ไม่ใช่ภาพนิ่งแล้ว Okay? น่าสอนนะมันสนุก So, and again, if we can work together, we can make our own video too of our own kids doing Thai things for the whole world to see. One last one. This is a little different. Here you can take. Now, I want to ask you guys. I usually walk when I teach, but let's see. Okay. Now, you got this little kid here. I'm going to show you a little bit of it. This is a very, very sleepy baby. And I want you to watch a little bit and see if you can tell me what's going to happen. The baby's going to fall to the left or the right, or do you think the baby's going to fall backwards, or the baby's going to wake up and start crying? Just take a look. Okay, you see. No, they're just. So what do you think? What do you think? I want a sentence now. I think. What do you think? You think the baby's going to wake up? Okay. What about you? You agree? Is she your teacher? Oh, okay. What do you think? Yeah. You think the baby's going to fall in the back? Oh, okay. Let's see. What do you think? You think the baby's going to fall to the back? Okay. So, what do you think? You say, I think, because you don't know. I think. Where? Which way? Left, right, back? Left. Okay, what do you think? To the left. So we've got left, we've got backwards, and we got wake up. Change your mind? Same idea, you think? Oh, wait a minute, I forgot. What did you say? To the, okay. You think you changed your mind? Yes. So now you think the baby's going to fall to the left. Is that right? Okay. And I go around the class and I say, wait a minute, I forgot. What did you say? And, okay. And sometimes they change their mind, like she did. Okay? Now, what did you think? No, I want a sentence. What did you think? Yeah, before. What did you think? No, I want a whole sentence. I thought. See, it's got to be automatic. For me, impossible. I can't say I think. I thought. So here's another way you can get the idea of past by doing a situation like this. Okay, and this for a real English speaker, impossible. But he knows the right answer. But what he needs is situations like this, and then it becomes automatic for him too, because he knows. You understand what we're talking about. Okay, good. See. Now, on YouTube and so on, there are millions of these. แต่มันหายาก You can't go and say past tense because you get boring stuff. And you can't say fall backwards because you get songs. YouTube, the search is all for songs and movies and that sort of thing. มันหายาก But I found many, many examples, but it's taken me years. So I'm hoping we can work together, and then we can teach things like this. So students really understand English, not just the structure, but English and the meaning as well. The last thing. Okay. This is all on the web. It's on the sheet that I gave you. You can find where these are. Okay, you can use our materials. You can participate. and we can do all these things together. I hope we will. Now, last thing, I have a book coming very soon, and you have a sheet right here. The last sheet you have should be about football. Next month is the World Cup. Are you going to watch? Are you going to watch the World Cup next month? You're not going to watch at all? Are you going to watch, what about, anybody here going to watch World Cup? Or anybody going to follow the World Cup? คุณจะอ่านข่าวหรือเปล่าเรื่องนี้อ่านไหมดู Right. You're not going to go, but you're going to watch, right? All guys are going to watch World Cup. And they're going to do it in Thai. And they're going to read about it in Thai. And they're going to talk about it in Thai. But the world is also going to talk about it in English. And I have been working for years. Every World Cup, I teach it in the Bangkok Post. And we follow the World Cup. And I know the words they are going to use to talk about the World Cup. I know what they are. And in this book, I'm teaching them. I'm teaching the English for the World Cup. For example, these are different ways of scoring or kicking the ball. All these things. You need to know these. Also, when one team wins, the fans from that country are going to be happy. And there are certain words we use. Not just little happy, but very, very, very happy. Right here. And others are going to be sad. Not just a little sad, but very sad. And during the World Cup, you're going to see things like this.
Creando problemas por ese lado. Pelota para Xavi. Xavi juega con Alves. El balón de Alves, la combinación con Messi, Messi y Alves, Messi dentro del área, logra centrar Messi, ha despejado Carvajal. Ha despejado Carvajal, ahora intenta sacar el balón Isco para el Real Madrid, pero... ¿Cómo la sacó al final contra?
Sí, bueno, la ha sacado entre otras
Contra
cosas.
Bale, pedían falta de Bartra.
¡Déjalo!
Más Bale que Bartra, sigue Bale con el balón, Bale dentro del área, sigue Bale.
¡Gol!
¡Gol!
¡Qué golazo metido! ¡Qué golazo, Dios mío! ¡Qué golazo!
Creando problemas por ese lado. Pelota para Xavi. Xavi juega con... El balón de Alves, la combinación con Messi, Messi y Alves, Messi dentro del área, logra centrar Messi, ha despejado Carvajal. Ha despejado Carvajal, ahora intenta sacar el balón Isco para el Real Madrid. ¿Cómo la sacó al final contra?
Sí, bueno, la ha sacado entre otras
Contra
cosas.
Bale, pedían falta de Bartra.
¡Déjalo!
Más Bale que Bartra, sigue Bale con el balón, Bale dentro del área, sigue Bale.
¡Gol!
¡Gol!
¡Qué golazo metido! ¡Qué golazo, Dios mío! ¡Qué golazo!
There we are. Okay. Now, you are going to see many, many goals just like this. And in the Thai newspaper, they will describe the goals in Thai. You will also see it in the English newspaper. You see what happens, and then you can read the same thing. And it's no problem. You understand what happened, but how do you describe this in English? And I've got many examples in the sheet of this goal, because this happened 2 weeks ago, right? Real Madrid versus Barcelona. And we will be doing this every day during the World Cup. So we will take the day's football matches and we'll look at the best goals and so on. เราหวังว่าจะสนุกสำหรับผู้ชาย Very often, English classes, the girls do most of the work, right? But this is something where the boys can be the leaders, although girls will like this as well. So it's something you might consider. The book has all the language before the World Cup. And then during the World Cup, we will add on the Learning Channel. So if you want to make your boys interested and have something fun to talk about, okay, you might try that as well. The book is almost finished. It should be about 1 week, and it will be available. It's called World Cup English. Okay, you can see what we do now, right? We do English lessons, help people learn through the news, like the Chiang Mai earthquake, but we also use things from you. And then we can also teach language together as well. So I hope we do. And check out what we do. I've got all the website information there, but Facebook, even Twitter, whatever, you can, easy to talk to. You can talk to me, ask me questions, email. ก็ทำได้หลายอย่าง. And my job is to help. That's what my job is. So let me do it. Okay, thank you very much for coming and listening and playing and laughing a little bit, and it's been fun.
So right now, on behalf of the Quarantine Learning Foundation, I would like to appreciate for the section of Ajahn Terry Fredrickson to give us the idea about the English teaching technique. And I hope that all the teachers and the students in this class enjoy for the section. So let's just give a big hand to Ajahn Terry again. And for Ajahn Sunil who helped us to facilitate this training too.
We also, I should mention, we also do ภาษาไทยภาษาอังกฤษผสม We learn Thai also with Ajahn Sunil. So she's on. If you want Thai and English, we also have those lessons.
ค่ะมีใน Learning Post นะคะคือเอาศัพท์เอาข่าวภาษาไทยมาแล้วก็แปลเป็นภาษาอังกฤษอยู่ใน Learning Post เหมือนกันในช่อง Learning Together นะคะเพราะฉะนั้นจุดประสงค์อันนี้ก็คือว่าเรามี Big Helper ตรงนี้นะคะแล้วก็เป็นเจ้าของไอเดียที่มี Angle มุมมองในการสอนภาษาที่สนุกแล้วก็ได้เตรียมไว้แล้วเพราะฉะนั้นก็ขอเสนอตัวว่าถ้าอาจารย์มีเวลาเข้าไปเยี่ยม Copy ไปใช้ก่อนแล้วใช้แล้วทำได้ส่งเข้ามาอาจารย์ยินดีจะช่วยค่ะขอบพระคุณค่ะ